Have you ever had an encounter with an entitled, devious woman and her brat son? Well, I hadn't. Not until my sports car came. My Dodge Charger. I had invested everything I had into it. Blood, sweat, and more overtime shifts than I care to remember. I live in a suburban neighborhood run by a wannabe HOA monarch called Claire. She is every bad thing that happens in an HOA and maybe more. Nosy, self-appointed queen, always sticking her overly manicured claws into people's business. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. It was only a few weeks after I'd bought my car when I noticed the trouble brewing. That afternoon, I walked out into my driveway, sunglasses on, keys in hand, only to see Claire's teenage son, Chad, circling my Charger like a vulture spotting roadkill. He wasn't just looking. He was peering into the windows, pressing his face against the glass, breathing on it. At first, I thought maybe he was just another kid who loved cars, but knowing the type of family he came from, I wasn't about to relax. As I got closer, I called out, "Dude, I gotta leave," hoping he'd take the hint and back away. Instead of moving, Chad's eyes lit up, and without missing a beat, he yelled, "Mom, I want his car." His voice had that whiny, nails on a chalkboard tone you can only get from years of being spoiled. I froze for a moment because surely he couldn't be serious. But Claire, never one to miss an opportunity to annoy, was just a few steps away, grinning like she'd just been handed free HOA power. She strolled up, arms folded, and gave me the once-over like she was already calculating how to get my keys into her kid's hands. Chad repeated, louder this time, "Mom, I want it." I didn't say a word. I just slid into the driver's seat, started the engine, and pulled away, ignoring the pouty glare I could see in my rearview mirror. Still, the image stuck with me. That hungry, entitled look in both their eyes. It was like watching two foxes sizing up a chicken coop. And my car? Yeah, that was their chicken. Before we dive in deeply, let us know in the comments where you're watching this story from. A few days later, I heard a knock at my door. I wasn't expecting company, so I checked my camera first. And there she was, Claire, standing on my porch with that smug HOA queen expression, the kind of look people get right before they say something incredibly stupid. I opened the door, already bracing myself. She didn't waste time. "My son likes your car a lot," she began, like this was some normal neighborhood chat, "and he says he wants it. So I want us to come to an arrangement. Why don't you lend it to him, even if it's just for a day or two, to keep up the community spirit and the oneness in the neighborhood?" She smiled like she had just proposed something noble. I stared at her. Chad was 17, barely. No driver's license, no experience, and certainly no respect. My Charger was my pride and joy, the only luxury I had ever bought for myself. There was no universe where I'd hand over the keys to a teenager whose only qualification was being Claire's son. I told her flat out, no. No excuses, no softening the blow, just no. Claire's smile cracked into something sharper, a flash of embarrassment followed by irritation. "We'll see," she muttered, like she had some grand master plan to change my mind. By the end of that same week, I knew she was plotting something. I suddenly started receiving HOA violation notices, 12 of them in just 1 week, all for improper parking in the exact same driveway I'd been using for years. They were clearly fabricated. So I confronted her, walked right up to her in front of her pristine flower beds and said, "I know these citations are you just being petty." She didn't even try to deny it. Instead, she gave me a slow smirk and said, "Enjoy your car while you still can." Now, that was a suspicious statement. And in an HOA, suspicious statements are practically warning sirens. I didn't know exactly what she meant, but I had a feeling her brat and my Charger were about to cross paths again. After Claire's little "enjoy your car while you still can" threat, I decided it was time to go on full defense mode. I called in a security company and had cameras installed covering every angle of my driveway, porch, and side yard. If Claire or Chad so much as breathed near my Charger, I'd know. It didn't take long for the cameras to pay off. One night around 10 p.m., I got a motion alert on my phone. I opened the feed and there was Chad, hoodie up, tiptoeing toward my car like he was starring in the world's dumbest heist movie. He tried the door handle. Locked. He circled to the other side. Locked. Eventually he wandered off, clearly hoping one day he'd catch it unlocked. That gave me an idea. If he wanted to play games, I'd give him a game he'd never forget. I visited a specialist who worked on high-end vehicle security systems. He installed a hidden feature. If the car was entered without a key signal or in a suspicious way, it would lock itself from the inside and disable the engine entirely. On top of that, I could now lock and unlock it remotely from my phone. A couple of weeks later, my patience paid off. I was upstairs working when my phone buzzed. Camera alert. Sure enough, Chad was in my driveway again. I watched in real time as he crept up to the charger, glancing around like a raccoon about to raid a trash can. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I tapped my phone and unlocked the doors remotely. His eyes lit up instantly. He pulled the handle, got inside, and settled into the driver's seat like he had just inherited it. He even grabbed the steering wheel with both hands, grinning like he was about to race in Fast and Furious HOA drift. Little did he know, he had just stepped into a trap. I waited. My thumb hovered over the remote lock button, ready to turn his joyride into the most humiliating moment of his teenage life. The moment Chad settled into the driver's seat, I pressed the button. Click. Every door locked at once. The windows stayed sealed tight. And then I hit the second trigger, the car's siren. A deafening alarm roared to life, echoing through the neighborhood like an air raid. Chad's face went from smug to pure panic in less than 2 seconds. From my upstairs window, I watched him yank at the door handles, slam his hands against the glass, and flail around like he was being chased by a swarm of bees. He fumbled for the ignition, but the engine was disabled. My Charger might as well have been a steel cage on wheels. Neighbors started coming out of their houses to see what the commotion was. Phones came up. Videos started rolling. Claire herself came storming out of her front door, robe flapping, hair in a mess, yelling, "Chad, what are you doing in that car?" She wasn't worried about why he was there. She was worried about the fact that half the block was watching. I made the call to the police, calm as ever. "Hi, yes, I've got someone attempting to steal my vehicle. They're currently locked inside." Dispatch promised to send someone over immediately. While we waited, Chad tried to mouth something to me through the windshield, probably begging for mercy, but I just smiled and waved. When the cops arrived, it was beautiful. I walked out, fried, keys in hand, and proved I owned the car. The officers opened the door and pulled Chad out, red-faced and sweating. One of them asked his age, and when he admitted he was 17 without a license, they wrote him a citation on the spot for attempted vehicle theft. Claire started screaming at the officers, claiming I had trapped her son. One of them calmly explained that locking your own property wasn't a crime, trying to steal it was. The crowd was loving it. People were laughing, recording, whispering, and when Claire stomped her foot and pointed at me, I swear I heard someone yell, "This is going on Facebook." By the time they left, the footage was already making the rounds online. Within hours, Car Thief Chad was a meme, complete with captions like, "When you wanted a joyride but got a jail ride." Claire avoided me for weeks after that. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.